Welcome to Children's Lives Matter. Hi, Vera. How are you?
Hi, Jessica. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm awesome. It's great to be with you here. And we are bringing you Children's Lives Matter, the newest Thriving Women Network series that enlightens, encourages, and empowers parents to reimagine and individualize parenting to make raising emotionally intelligent and balanced children a reality for everyone. We believe that every child is important and deserves to be loved. So, for our first time viewers, my name is Jessica Sheehan, and I'm the Chief Operations Officer at Thriving Women Network. And I'm joined here with one of my fabulous co hosts, Vera Thomas, streaming from Ohio. And Vera, what is our theme for the month of May?
Well, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. It started in 1949 and has been important in helping millions of Americans with mental health conditions. This month is all about fighting stigma, giving support, teaching people, and pushing for better policies to help individuals and families dealing with mental illness. Last week's episode focused on the stigma associated with mental health in the second episode of a four-part series on children's mental health. Today's episode is focused on the benefits of adopting mindfulness when dealing with mental health issues. So, Jessica, what is our quote for this week?
Yes, I love that we do this, Vera. So, our quote to inspire thought for this week was from Buddha, also known as Siddhartha Gautama. And he was most commonly referred to simply as Buddha, who was a wandering ascetic and religious teacher who lived in South Asia during the 6th and 5th century BCE and founded Buddhism. And his quote is, "Do not dwell in the past, do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment." So we are going to watch a clip right now, and we will be right back.
In a small village nestled in the mountains, there lived a wise old monk named Hakuin. He was known throughout the land for his wisdom and insight, and many people came to seek his counsel. One day, a young woman came to Hakuin seeking guidance. She was distraught and anxious, and her mind was filled with worries and fears. She asked Hakuin for help, but he simply looked at her with a gentle smile and did not say a word. The woman was confused and frustrated. She had come all this way seeking guidance, and the monk simply looked at her in silence. She was about to leave when Hakuin gestured for her to stay. He handed her a small bowl and filled it with water. "Please carry this bowl of water to the other side of the courtyard," Hakuin said. The woman looked at him with confusion, but she took the bowl and walked across the courtyard. When she reached the other side, she turned back to Hakuin, wondering what this exercise was supposed to teach her. Hakuin then gestured for her to walk back across the courtyard with the bowl. As she walked, she watched the water in the bowl sloshing back and forth, and she focused on keeping the water from spilling. When she reached the other side, Hakuin asked her, "What did you notice?" The woman replied, "I was careful not to spill the water." Hakuin nodded and smiled. "Good. Now carry the bowl of water back and forth across the courtyard again, but this time, do it without thinking about the water." The woman was confused but did as she was instructed. She carried the bowl back and forth across the courtyard, but this time, she didn't think about the water. She simply walked, feeling the weight of the bowl in her hand and the sound of her footsteps on the ground. When she returned to Hakuin, he asked her again, "What did you notice?" The woman replied, "I noticed the weight of the bowl in my hand and the sound of my footsteps on the ground." Hakuin nodded and smiled. "Good. Now imagine that your worries and fears are like the water in the bowl. When you focus too much on them, they slosh around and cause you to lose your balance. But when you don't focus on them, they become like the weight of the bowl in your hand, something that you are aware of but not consumed by." The woman nodded, feeling a sense of clarity and peace that she had not felt in a long time. She thanked Hakuin for his wisdom and left the monastery feeling lighter and more at ease. From that day on, the woman made a practice of focusing on the present moment, rather than letting her worries and fears consume her. She learned the gift of silence, the art of being present, and how to live with more peace and clarity. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for more content. Leave your feedback in the comments below. See you next time.
I love that. Focus on the present. Our show,
Absolutely.
yes, our show's producer, Angela Lee, emphasizes to parents that the most effective response to their children's anxiety or worry is guiding them back to the present moment through breathing exercises and body awareness. And that really works. Bringing a child into body awareness helps them focus on the present moment. When a child experiences anxious thoughts, their mind strays from the present and fixates on future possibilities or a remembrance of past issues. Jessica, please tell us who we are honoring this week.
Yes, Vera, we are honoring Eckhart Tolle, and many people love his books because they talk about mindfulness, which, as we have learned, is paying attention to that present moment. And his most famous books, The Power of Now and A New Earth, have helped many understand that our thoughts are just thoughts. They don't have to control us.
Absolutely. Mindfulness is about paying attention to the present moment without judgment. It's like being fully aware of what's happening around you and inside you without getting caught up in your thoughts or feelings. When you practice mindfulness, you focus on your breath, the sensations you feel, and perhaps even the sounds around you. It's a way of being in tune with yourself and your surroundings, which can help reduce stress, improve concentration, and promote overall well being. By practicing mindfulness regularly, people can learn to respond to life's challenges with greater clarity and calmness rather than reacting impulsively. It's a simple yet powerful, it really is a powerful practice that anyone can learn and benefit from, regardless of age or background.
Absolutely. And, according to WebMD, Vera, the practice of mindfulness helps people to manage stress, depression, addiction, and anxiety. So it's effective for people with health conditions like hypertension, chronic pain, and heart failure. So mindfulness also helps you become more aware of what's happening in the present moment and understand your thought patterns. It allows you to step out of your mind and observe these patterns. And this can help break the cycle of negative thinking patterns that often contribute to mental health challenges. Additionally, mindfulness practices can increase self-awareness and self-compassion, which are important factors in managing mental health. While mindfulness is not a cure-all, it can be a valuable tool alongside other forms of therapy and treatment for individuals seeking to improve their mental well-being. Back to you, Vera.
It works so well. I use it with my clients and children. I have them practice it during the course of our sessions. In the following video, we will learn how to be present. Children's Lives Matter is sponsored by Thriving Women University, an affiliate of the Thriving Women Network. If you want to produce a franchise show, TWN provides the media network training, coaching, and mentoring to produce your franchise show. For more information, visit our website at thrivingwomennetwork.com. We'll be right back.
Today, we're going to be talking about staying present. So one of the biggest challenges for us all in life, even in the absence of a global pandemic, is to just be present in our life, present in our thoughts, with our emotions, in our body, in our relationships, in the world around us. Most of the time, we are either lost in the future or lost in the past. And now more than ever, I think there is a temptation either to look backward and to wish we had what was, or to look forward and to get lost in anxiety about the future. And it's natural to feel like that. We shouldn't sort of push that away. We shouldn't try and get rid of it. At the same time, if we allow it to run rampant, then eventually it becomes harmful. It overwhelms us. It doesn't benefit us. and it doesn't benefit the people around us either. So, really easy technique. Sounds simple, takes a little bit of practice. If you find at any stage your mind is just getting lost, distracted by thinking constantly about the same thing, if you can, just note it in your mind. It's as simple as going, oh, thinking. You see it, you let it go and come back to whatever you're doing at the time. The more we can short circuit that pattern of habitual thinking, the more we'll be present. It's good for us. It's good for the people around us.
Awesome. Unmute yourself.
We're live. Hey,
Yes.
Vera. I love the
Hey,
last line. You know, it's good
Dixie.
for us and it's good for those around us.
Yes, it's
Perfection.
powerful.
It is. It is. Mindfulness practices in general really are. And in today's deep dive, we'll examine the power of practicing mindfulness in schools. Mindfulness exercises incorporated into a child's school day can help children in so many ways. Studies by Shonert, Rickel, and Lawler in 2010 actually showed that practicing mindfulness can make children better at paying attention, which means they can do better in school. And another study in 2013 by Felver and others found that mindfulness can actually lower stress and anxiety. It makes children feel more relaxed, and so they're better ready to learn. More research done in 2005 by Napoleon and his team actually found that mindfulness can help us control our emotions and even understand others better. So, learning mindfulness in school isn't just about feeling good, it's actually about getting better at school and strengthening relationships as well.
Yes, and it also helps with children who are being bullied. It
Absolutely.
is amazing. Practicing mindfulness offers children a wealth of benefits that contribute to their overall well-being and success. By engaging in mindfulness activities, children can sharpen their focus and attention, making it easier for them to concentrate on tasks and learning activities. Additionally, mindfulness helps to alleviate stress and anxiety, creating a more peaceful and conducive environment for learning and social interactions. Through mindfulness, children also develop essential emotional regulation skills, learning to manage their feelings and responses in various situations. This heightened self awareness allows them to make better decisions and navigate challenges with greater ease. Moreover, mindfulness cultivates empathy and compassion, strengthening their relationship with others and promoting a sense of connectedness within their community. With improved sleep quality, cognitive abilities, and overall mental health, mindfulness equips children with invaluable tools for navigating the complexities of life with resilience and positivity.
And you know, Vera, I found that this works for almost all children
Yes,
across the bracket. It's another benefit of mindfulness is stress reduction. As
yes,
noted on verywellmind.com, American professor John Kabat-Zinn, he founded mindfulness-based stress reduction all the way in the 1970s at the University of Massachusetts Medical School. He developed an 8-week course to treat patients' mental health and chronic pain after they hadn't responded to traditional therapy. Participants who completed the initial 8-week MBSR course with Kabat-Zinn actually scored higher on standardized psychological tests and had lower pain scores. They also reported a higher quality of life compared to control groups or people who just didn't undergo MBSR. But since it was founded, MBSR has gained popularity and it's now used by hospitals and other treatment centers to help alleviate the symptoms of physical and mental health conditions.
it's all about the mind. It's all about the mind.
It is.
Now it's time for our segment called Host Hot Seat. Let's call up Jessica. You are
Yes.
now in the hot seat. So be prepared to answer 3 questions.
All right.
So, Jessica, did the youth trauma providers you previously worked with give the children they helped any mindfulness practices or tools?
Yes, they did, Vera. And when I used to be a forensic interviewer at a child abuse intervention center, we had a therapist that was there. One of the things that I did initially in the forensic interview when I was talking to a child was I asked them to connect to how they felt in their body when they were describing the day, when they were describing in our practice warm up, the narrative event practice. And I would also ask them to connect to how their body felt when they were describing any kind of traumatic event. So I believe that mindfulness really helps us to be aware of our body and that connection between our mind and our body. And if we're aware of how those things play out for us, it's different for everybody. Some people, when they're upset or they're stressed, they get a stomach ache. Some people get a headache. Some people feel tension in their neck. So by being mindful of how you're experiencing things in your body, it really helps to be more balanced and to practice mindfulness more easily. But those therapists did various exercises with the children. And, these were kids from 3 all the way up to 17. And so depending on their age, there were different types of exercises that they did with them.
Jessica, thanks for that. From your perspective, what do you see as the potential benefit of integrating mindfulness practices into daily routines, whether it be for individuals or communities or even educational settings?
So I think that being present in the moment is really key for everything that we're doing. And nowadays, with all of the technology and all of the distractions that we have, I think that our minds are just all over the place all the time. And so if we can really focus in on where we are and what we're doing, we will have more intention and we will have more peace in our day. So if we start teaching children these practices and just being aware of the current moment, and we model this for children as parents, as educators, as community members, this can really go a long way to help our children become more balanced and more in tune with their emotional state as well. So these things are all connected.
Mm-hmm. And what about for you, Jessica? Do you have any mindfulness practices in your daily life?
I do. There are different things that I do. One of the techniques that I use is called spatial referencing, and that's a technique that I learned from Masadi. And what he teaches is that you essentially focus on your different senses one at a time and a body part. So you would focus on a point in the room and you notice that point, and then you notice a body part, and then you notice something that you hear, and then you notice your same body part, and then you notice the taste in your mouth and you notice your same body part, and then you notice how you're feeling as far as like if you have the floor underneath you, what you're sitting on, something like that, you notice that body part. And this technique of spatial referencing really grounds you in the present moment of where you are in space and time and allows you to just be present in your body. So that's the one that I use the most, and I try to do that throughout the day, especially if I'm feeling a little distracted. The other thing I would say about mindfulness is there's this huge connection we're learning about with gut health. And so what we put into our bodies and being mindful that everything is connected is more and more known as far as how important that really is.
Absolutely. And that sounds a lot like PQ, what you're talking about. And the gut, everything comes from the gut. People don't understand that. And when we are unconscious of our thoughts and feelings, we can become immediately reactive to stress and overwhelmed by our emotions. Mindfulness allows you to notice your experience and what's going on inside your body when it comes to physical or mental stress. Are you feeling any resistance to your emotions or to the urgency to react in a stressful situation? Mindfulness can give you a reprieve from the chaos and instead give you time and space to process your feelings first. This may help lower stress levels and promote relaxation.
It does indeed. Jessica, thank you so much for being our hot seat host today. We really appreciate your feedback.
Absolutely, ladies.
For those just joining us, we are discussing the benefits of practicing mindfulness as part of our Mental Health Awareness Month. During our commercial break, we will explore how the powerful practice of mindfulness in schools makes a difference for so many children. As a reminder, Children's Lives Matter is sponsored by Thriving Women University, an affiliate of the Thriving Women Network. If you want to produce a franchise show, TWN provides the media network training, coaching, and mentoring to produce your franchise show. For more info, visit our website at thrivingwomennetwork.com. We'll be right back.
Deep down, I keep feeling this pain in my chest. I got kicked out of my house.
The panic attacks.
I, like many other teens, have struggled with anxiety. My social anxiety.
Really bad anxiety and depression.
I used to go to school just completely exhausted every single day because I'd be up all night worrying.
I felt kind of like a ghost roaming through the halls.
The stress made me sick.
It's just a lot of repetitional thinking about like if there is a purpose to life, whether if there is any reason to continue forth or to just cut it short.
Take a second and breathe and reflect on what you feel.
Awareness to who I really am and how I matter.
Finding balance.
It really feels like a place where you can be yourself.
We can be authentic.
Feel safe.
Safe?
I was like on the verge of suicide before taking the class, and my family didn't really know what else to do. I was in counseling, seeing a therapist, and taking medicine. Spending the first semester in this class really helped me get past that point and not let the mental illnesses I struggle with take over my life. So class brought a lot.
Anytime I start to feel overwhelmed, drop down, I put my head down. I was like, all right, let's think. I just started breathing, and it's just really helpful. It's easy to get mad. It's not easy to get angry and then bring yourself down. Me growing up, I was always told meditation and stuff was things that priests or it was a girl thing. But then you grow up a little bit and you're meditation is just you taking care of yourself, and everybody should take care of themselves.
It's real stuff. It's what you need.
You learn these tips for life skills that actually bring you together and interweave with everyone else.
Being able to share.
Direct my attention and stay present.
I can break my fear.
I now know how to turn my attention to my breath, calm myself down.
I knew that I could help myself.
Observe life more.
How to speak in a way that makes people want to open up to you.
Show myself loving kindness.
Learning how to control my anger. I also learned how to, be more of a better listener.
This class means everything to me right now.
It honestly feels like 50 pounds is lifted off my shoulders.
I truly believe that this class has saved my life and changed it for the better.
Thinking about what the mindfulness class at my school has done for my community and my school in general, it's been groundbreaking.
I think it's just a really valuable class, and I honestly wish that it was at every high school in the U.S.
If there was a mindfulness class in every high school,
I feel like this world would be a totally different place because I feel like there'd be a lot more understanding.
And there would be a lot more respect in the world.
If mindful studies was in every school in the world, we'd all become much better listeners.
Somebody says something, somebody doesn't like that, has to retaliate. But if we had mindfulness, we can learn to accept that my reality is different from yours.
I think a lot of that tension is caused by people not really knowing how to handle themselves and their feelings and emotions.
You don't have to be a politician to change the world. You can just be in a mindfulness class. That's how I feel.
I have the ability to overcome obstacles. I have the ability to achieve like never before, and I have the ability to be who I am, loving who I am, and taking that love with me and spreading it everywhere else I go.
Wow. Just imagine if this was in every school, starting with preschool. Just imagine. I
What a
mean, the
difference that.
bullying would not exist.
Mhm.
Kids would be able to handle being bullied. They would be able to regulate their anger. Even
Yes.
little kids can learn to do that.
Anyone can this is a topic for me. It's very near and dear to my heart. It's what I
Yes.
do. These teens are not wrong. In my practice, we bring mindfulness into schools and to children, and it is exactly what they shared. It could be life-saving, and it's definitely life-giving. It allows them to feel empowered when so
Yes.
many of them feel disconnected and disempowered.
Yes. And, I use it in my coaching. It's the first thing that I do with my coachees before we even start a session, whether it's a child or an adult. And one of the ones is the fingers, putting your fingers together like this and concentrating on the ridges. That is so powerful. We could talk about this all day. Welcome back to Children's Lives Matters. If you're watching this show, you know that May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And today we are here to encourage our viewers to add a small mindfulness moment to their day. Welcome to the actionable advice portion of the show. Did you know you can opt to practice mindfulness strategies on your own? Try performing daily tasks mindfully throughout your day, whether you're tying your shoes or washing the dishes. You can add a mindfulness component. Simply become extra aware of what you're doing. For instance, when washing the dishes, focus on how the experience affects your senses. Feel the warm water in your hands. Smell the dish detergent and the weight of the plate in your hand. Using your five senses can help ground you in the present moment, reduce anxiety, and promote relaxation.
I mean, take a mindful minute every day. It's a very simple, yet it's such a powerful way to weave wellness into our daily routines. In our fast-paced life, where, as we all know, our schedules are packed, demands are constant. When we carve out just a minute for ourselves, it can feel like a small oasis of calm amidst that chaos. It's such a precious gift that we give to ourselves. It's an act of self-love. It acknowledges our need for stillness and introspection during our busy lives. And it really is that. It's a need, not just a luxury. It's a need. During this brief moment, we intentionally pause. We tune into the present moment. We observe our thoughts, feelings, our sensations without judgment. That practice of mindfulness not only allows us to cultivate a deep sense of inner peace and tranquility, but it also helps us to develop a greater sense of self-awareness and emotional resilience. And with each mindful minute, we nurture our own well-being. We replenish our mental and emotional reserves so that we can navigate life's challenges with greater clarity and some grace. And in this way, the practice of mindfulness actually becomes a profound pathway to enhancing the peacefulness and harmony we feel within us and in our actions and interactions with the world around us.
Absolutely. So true, Dixie. Do you use any mindfulness practices?
Oh yeah, I cannot exist without it. I cannot. I'm a Hatha yoga practitioner, and I have a daily practice of just going within, connecting, assessing, and like we shared early on, doing so without judgment. Breathing exercises. It's something I do for myself, with my children. Helps balance left and right brain hemispheres, balance your thoughts, balance your body, and bring that stillness in. So it's a daily practice. It's now so embedded into my life, I don't even think about it anymore, Farah.
I need it to be like that with me. I practice it every day myself. Breathing, just the breathing itself, or the tactile. You know, there's several ways to incorporate mindfulness into your life. And I love that illustration about when you're washing dishes, to focus on what you're doing, feeling the water and the dish, and smelling the dish detergent. That's a form of mindfulness.
It is. It's connected back to the video we saw early on, just taking the water back and forth. You know, I grew up in the islands and we walk on grass. It's a normal practice, you know, and I think about that feel as a child of running across soft grass, feeling that earth beneath your feet, feeling the sun on your skin. You're living a mindfulness practice. And as a child, I didn't even realize, but that's what it was, you know? So we can talk about mindfulness all day, but unless you put it into practice, it wouldn't do you any good. And at this time, we're going to take up to a 2-minute mindfulness break. We're going to invite our guest, Liz, up here to lead our viewers through it.
Thank you so much. Hi, thank you so much for having me. And I just would love to add on to your dishwashing example, gratitude for running water and plates to eat off of. And sometimes when we're feeling really unsettled, returning to gratitude can be super helpful, right? I'd love to guide you all in a 1-minute practice. So if you would, everybody, just please make sure you're sitting on a chair or maybe on the floor, and make sure you're grounded. If you're standing, that's fine, but make sure you have your legs uncrossed, both feet flat on the floor. And you can just rest your hands in your lap and notice the weight of your hands in your lap. And then just, if you're comfortable closing your eyes, close your eyes or gaze down with your eyes relaxed enough to blink. And then let's do 3 slow, deep cleansing breaths in. So breathing in through your nose, blow it out through your mouth. And 2 more times, in through your nose, blow it out through your mouth, and in, blow it out, and then closing your lips, just feel the weight of your body. And maybe imagine water cascading from your head, past your ears, over your shoulders. Relax your shoulders, cascading down your arms, past your legs, down into the floor. Feeling a little heavier in your seat. Keep breathing. And if you like the visual of like a snow globe or a glitter globe, imagining that glitter or snowflakes settling all the way down into the floor. And as you're ready, open your eyes, come back to space. And notice how you feel.
Yes, that felt good. That really felt good. Thank you so much, Liz. To our beloved viewers, I hope you enjoyed that moment as much as we did. And don't forget, Children's Lives Matter is sponsored by Thriving Women University, an affiliate of Thriving Women Network. If you want to produce a franchise show, TWN provides the media network training, coaching, and mentoring to produce your own franchise show. For more information, visit our website at thrivingwomennetwork.com. Hello.
Okay, voice is off in 1. Voice is off right now.
I don't know how they do it. They go from one class to a passing period
then back to another class with a completely different subject.
You go through the day without feeling how you feel. You just wake up, do your morning routine, go to school, come back home, and you don't stop, you know? And with mindfulness, you do stop.
Mindful body, feet are flat on the floor. Become aware of your body. So just notice your body. Mindful Minute usually happens at the start of class. What I'm trying to do is give them a chance to arrive, is to give them a chance to make it all the way into the room with their bodies and their awareness. I'm going to turn off my voice and let you breathe for a couple of minutes without my voice.
She tells us to listen to our breathing and recognize the fact that you are breathing. Letting you stop for a minute, just reflect on yourself and how you feel.
When I was really stressing and worrying about stuff, when I took these mindful minutes, it's like, I'm gonna be fine. Like, I'm gonna get through this.
It's a very easy, very simple way to help kids arrive, to quiet down their nervous systems and help the brain turn on and get learning ready.
Wow.
Whoa. Well, that was awesome. I wish that my high school had had something like that the first day of class to start out. So welcome back to Children's Lives Matter. I'm Jessica Sheehan here with one of my co-hosts, Vera Thomas. And as we mentioned earlier, Jon Kabat-Zinn was a leader in teaching the practice of mindfulness. So we've really been learning a lot in this episode, and we're going to continue getting even further in. So according to Jon Kabat-Zinn, the 9 major pillars of mindfulness practicing are non-judging, allowing thoughts to enter and exit the brain without analyzing or judging them. Next is gratitude, an attitude to be cultivated consciously during practice. And then we have patience, a cornerstone of mindfulness that continuously is tested in the modern world. And now over to you, Vera.
Yes, and then you've got the beginner's mind, approaching life with a sense of curiosity and awareness, as if experiencing something for the very first time. And then the other is trust, a sense of assuredness in the wisdom of the body, heart, and mind to manage itself. And then non-striving, a conscious decision to allow things to be as they are, rather than trying to change them in the moment. Back to you, Jessica.
These are great, Vera. Okay, so next up we have acceptance. Now, accepting your thoughts and emotions for what they are. And next is letting go. Present moment awareness without judgment. And then we have generosity, which is an attitude to be cultivated consciously during practice. Vera?
Yes, yes. And that letting go, and all of these are so wonderful. We opened the show with a quote from Buddha about being in the present moment. One of the pillars of this very beneficial practice of mindfulness. While some of the pillars are becoming mindful may seem daunting, remember that each journey starts with one small step. We will post this list of pillars on our Facebook group page, Thriving Women Network TV. Copy the list, tape it to your wall, and choose just one practice to help you move through your day with a sense of wellness. Once you have that practice as a routine, select another to try. Even incorporating 1 or 2 practices can help your life become more balanced.
Thank you, Vera. That's good advice. And I love that we're able to bring such concrete steps. Now, for our viewers, I'm excited to introduce our guests, Liz Rutledge and Serena Bullard. They're founders of Sustainable Happiness Together, and they work with schools using their lessons from a bright butterfly, and they help corporate teams flourish. Welcome, ladies. Come on up. We're so happy to have you with us today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Jessica, and thank you, Vera. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. So now I'm going to just dive right in here. Okay. So Liz, Sustainable Happiness Together brings programs into schools. So what is the age group that you work with, and what kind of programs do you bring in?
Well, I personally have been teaching. I was moved to tears with those ads because I have been teaching in the public school system for 10 years, teaching mindfulness. And I started at the middle school level. And then I was like, wait, we got to go lower. And so now I teach elementary, so 5 to 12-year-olds. Every week I go in, and we also have videos. So there's like a hybrid. But then Serena and I developed a program for even younger children. The Lessons from the Bright Butterflies for 3 to 8-year-olds. And we actually have it in 2 schools. And we have a pre-K teacher who's like, this is filling a gap that was missing. You know, we have not had programming for that low of an age. So as young as 3.
That is beautiful. Okay, now Serena, over to you. For viewers who are new to mindfulness, what advice would you give them for starting and maintaining a regular practice?
I would like to, one, congratulate you for wanting to have mindfulness in your day, because it's a gift to you. And what is your morning mindset? And allowing yourself to be little small steps, small, maybe just say 5 minutes a day. You're going to start off small and be consistent. And like Vera said, you can incorporate it into your daily activities. When you're washing the dishes, being present and being there and allowing yourself that. And just take it baby steps at a time. I really feel like it's a gift to yourself.
Yes, yes. And Liz, how can mindfulness be adapted for different age groups or cultural backgrounds? And are there any specific considerations to keep in mind?
Well, I think it's important to show up with trauma-informed delivery of mindfulness, because you never know what's going on with the children in the room. Their problem, their issue, their current challenge might be literally with somebody in the classroom, their teacher, a parent at home, a sibling at home. We never know what anyone's been through. So I think it's really important to be aware of that with mindfulness delivery. And also just teaching them that their lungs are with them from the moment they're born till the moment they die. They're always with them, and they're free. So those weekly practices of tapping into the breath is something that is deliverable to anyone, regardless of their age or, you know, wherever they're living. In fact, one of our dreams for swimmers in my program is to be able to have our program translated into every language around the world so that it can be global, which would be so exciting.
Not only exciting, but can you imagine the transformation of this world with that? So Serena, what circumstances led you to adopt mindfulness and happiness resilience practices?
That's kind of a two-part answer. There's a personal as well as a professional reason. I personally have almost died 3 times in my life and had to be very resilient. There was a time where I couldn't walk, I couldn't talk, I couldn't feed myself. And I really had to make sure that I was building my resilience muscle, because it was challenging, and we all have different challenges in life. But also incorporating happiness into my day, because this life is a gift. And we don't know what life is going to bring us, but we need to be conscious of incorporating more happiness into our day, and also being mindful of our moments and who we're with, and being present for ourselves. And so that's my personal reason. But my professional reason was when I was practicing pharmacy, my heart was heavy dispensing anti-anxiety meds to 15, 16-year-olds. I mean, I'm thankful we have medications to help people, but I also feel like Liz and I are so motivated to empower the youth to understand their emotions and start at a younger age to help them have a strong foundation to be able to navigate life's challenges. And yes, some people may still need medication, but they'll be more resourceful with tools that we teach, or evidence-based tools, to be able to incorporate more happiness, mindfulness, and resiliency into their days.
And Liz, can you tell us about how you came to this work and your why for doing this work?
I would be honored to share that. The last ad touched on that a lot, or maybe the previous one about the peaceful schools and the testimonials from the teens. I have 3 children, and they're now 23, 21, and 18. But when our oldest was 12, a friend of hers brother took his own life at the age of 14. And I went, how does a 14-year-old even know how to do that? I was very naive. And so I went to this school, and the middle school, and I said, I want to help. How can I help? And to make a long story short, I ended up teaching mindfulness at the middle school level, and became Mindful Schools trained. So when there was that Mindful Schools ad, I was literally like tearing up, because that was my beginning of taking something that I grew up with this stuff. My parents were teaching me, to imagine pain as an ice cube melting and things like that, and how to navigate a panic attack from when I was very young. And for some reason, I thought everyone knew how to do these things. So I thought, well, maybe I can be the one to bring it. So I did it for years at the middle school level. And then, like I said, realized that we need to start younger, because when those hormones start kicking in, the prefrontal cortex doesn't work as well.
Yeah.
And it's not fully developed until they're 25. So let's catch them young, get them working that muscle of resilience. And it's been a passion project I've been doing for 10 years. So.
And you need to continue, because it is so needed. Absolutely. And the younger age, and teaching parents, if we teach parents how to be mindful, and then they can teach their kids, just imagine all this visceral that we have existing in our country. It would not exist, because people would be living in the moment and appreciating and valuing and showing gratitude for this moment. Let me shut up.
And so much more balanced. I think it's beautiful that your parents were able to instruct you and to make that just part of life. That is such a huge gift and such an advantage that, sadly, as you pointed out, most kids don't get. They just do not.
Yeah. So our program, I would love to mention that our program for young children is an online program that parents can do with their children. Teachers can do in the classroom. We even are partnered with like 8 Girl Scout troops around the country, and we've come up with a bright butterfly patch so that they can even have like something to keep them going. But if they just do short lessons once a week, it doesn't take up that much time. But the idea being that it's a short video that the parents can watch with their children, and then it leads to an activity that creates connection with the parents and the children. Put the phones away and let's do this together. And it integrates the life cycle of the butterfly, which a lot of teachers are teaching at the kindergarten pre-K level anyway. So we've had 2 schools now actually have actual caterpillars that went in the chrysalis, and then they did butterfly releases as they were doing the lessons from the Bright Butterfly that pairs those stages of the butterfly life cycle with the social and emotional tools that we teach. So it's so fun for that reason, that they chose to do it with their science element.
Wow. So let me ask you, do you provide what you do as a certification program for other coaches and teachers, or people can just get your videos and start using them? How does that work?
We do not have a certification program. We do have where you can buy the courses online, and we have ones for schools, which have course outlines and more details, and also for families and classrooms if teachers would like to buy it. And it's good for a year is when they purchase it.
So and that's something that coaches and teachers should incorporate in their practices, because it's so needed. It is so needed. And I've been able to see how kids have gone from being angry and upset, physically see them transform just through either the tactile or the breathing. It works. This stuff works.
Absolutely. Now we have just a few more minutes with our guests, and we're just trying to get more information out of you ladies. We love that you're here with us today. So I want to keep going. And Liz, can you tell us, how can mindfulness be applied in specific areas of life, such as managing stress, improving relationships, enhancing work, or academics, that kind of performance? Shed some light on that for us, please.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of data around it. Like you mentioned at the beginning of the program, there's a lot of people that have been studying this for a long time, and they've even been able to measure some of this with EEGs and MRI scans. But practically, you can see, like, for instance, I was diagnosed with ADD after my second child was born. And I'd just like to say that I think when you have children, it may cause ADD because you're interrupted constantly, especially when they're little. But one of the things that helps me every day is I wake up, I get up, I meditate, and it's from 5 to 15 minutes or 20 minutes, depending on how much time I have in my day. But like, it's non-negotiable. Similar to Dixie, it's like I have to do it every day, but it's brought about calm and focus. But also they've shown that, athletes do better if they can, kind of pre-train in their minds, and those kinds of things. There are all sorts of things. But to speak from personal experience, I've been going to this elementary school now for 7 years. And I can see, so, I've been working with the kids that were kindergartners that are now fifth graders and beyond. And I can see the difference in the classroom. The children are more receptive. They're participating more. The teachers are participating more than they did when I first started coming in. And it just leads to a calmer classroom, more focused children. And the stress relief aspect is, if I could just share, I know we're almost out of time, to share a very quick hack that I have for panic attacks. One thing I've discovered in my own practice is if you're starting to have a panic attack, blow out all your air. If you blow out all your air, blow it all the way out, the only thing left is a slow, deep breath, which then physiologically calms down our nervous system and brings us back to center, right? So with that, I think that, there's lots of different breathing patterns that work to help with calm and stress relief, stress management. But like as a team, like just for like you were saying earlier, being more aware of how we're showing up, how we're being, we're the opposite of empty nesters right now, and our kids are going through some stuff, and it's hard to not get it on me, but if you can be aware of like protecting yourself with your own mindfulness practice, but also realizing how you're showing up in the world. And like you said, Vera, like imagine the possibilities if we were all able to do this. It'd be amazing.
So true. And I want to go over to you, Dr. Serena. What is your empowering vision, and how can we support you in that?
Well, with Lessons from the Bright Butterfly, Liz and I would love to empower children to know that there will never be anyone just like them. They are one of a kind, and they have a gift to share with our world. And we want to empower them with tools to be more resilient, because life gets hard, to be more mindful of their moments and to have happiness and fun in their lives. Because I think that people forget, you got to be proactive to have fun and say, okay, I'm going to do this. And then also, thank you for asking how you can support us, because we would love to spread the word and allow people to know this resource is out there for them. And then also, if anyone would like to do, work together with different organizations, whether it's a school, Boys and Girls Clubs, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, whatever it might be, we would love to empower the children. And if you want to contact us, you can contact us at info@sustainablehappiness-together.com.
Okay, info@
sustainablehappiness-together.com.
Okay, info@sustainablehappiness-together.com.
Correct.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And I think we have time for one more question. Vera?
Oh my goodness. You guys, what you're doing is just absolutely amazing. So let me ask you, what would you say to a parent who has a child who seems to be off the rails? How would you have a parent introduce this to their children and make it a practice, a family practice?
Well, I just saw, I think it was an ad on Instagram of just, especially if it's a young children, getting down at their eye level and saying, what do you need? If they're dysregulated, what do you need? Maybe they're thirsty, maybe they're hungry, maybe they have a problem they need to solve. But then also just starting as early as possible with helping them get in touch with that breath, putting a hand on the belly or the heart and just breathe. And something that they did when I was in school, when I was very young, is they would have us put our heads on the desks? Any of you have to do that? Put your heads down on your desk.
Yeah.
You would turn the lights off.
Yes.
Well, guess what happens to your pituitary gland when you turn it 90 degrees? Calms everything right down. So I might encourage laying on the floor with their forehead down or just anything. And then once they experience it, like you all did with the breathing practice, you know, then they'll just start to want to do it together. And oftentimes the children teach the parents.
Mm.
Oh, and we do work with corporate teams and groups as well. If adults, I like to say I work with children or people ages 3 to 103.
That's awesome. Well, ladies, thank you so much for being here. It's been a privilege to be able to speak with you and to glean from you how your practices can help children and parents and the communities. So we appreciate your time and sharing with us today and sharing with our viewers here as well.
Yes, thank you. This was so valuable. And Children's Lives Matter is sponsored by Thriving Women University, an affiliate of the Thriving Women Network. If you want to produce a franchise show, TWN provides the media network training, coaching, and mentoring to produce your franchise show. For more information, visit our website at thrivingwomennetwork.com. We'll be right back.
The hard part about breaking habits is that you're already on autopilot, right? Like you're just going through your day and the next thing you know, you're at the drive-thru, or you're just going through your day and you've just been on Facebook. Oh, I was going to go to the gym and I didn't do it because I was on my habit route on this other track. So the way to sort of break yourself out of that zombie place we all end up during the week, and when we're trying to do the right thing but fail, mindfulness is really the key, because mindfulness is what enables you to pause, realize what you're actually doing, check in to see if it's what you want to be doing, and then redirect if necessary. So just to tell you, just to explain, this is what I feel like mindfulness is. And I think this is the most, for me, this definition is the most useful specifically for forming healthy habits. So mindfulness is paying attention to a single thing in the present moment, and this is important, without judgment or trying to act on it, without trying to change anything. So you can focus your attention on either a physical experience, like your breath, what you're seeing, what you're hearing, or on your mental experiences. And that is basically your thoughts or your emotions. So there's 3 realms: what's going on and what your senses are taking in, and what you're thinking and what you're feeling. And your job, when you're trying to be mindful, is to just accept it. Accept reality as it is in the present moment, and resist the urge to judge it. Because that's like usually the first place your mind goes, like, well, that's happening, well, that's bad. That should not be happening. And it's important that you are able to catch yourself from doing that, because that's how you're going to be able to sort of reclaim the reins on your motivation and change course. And importantly, mindfulness is a practice. There is no goal. It's really hard to do. Like, you probably have all experienced sort of like losing 30 minutes on the internet down some rabbit hole without really knowing what's going on. And the hard part, right, is like, you're like, where did that time go? It just disappeared in the thin air. And that is a perfect example of what your brain does when you're in a habit. And breaking out of it, it just requires practice. That's it. So when you're trying to be mindful, when you have whatever mindful practice you have, there's no goal. Benefits will emerge, but you can't succeed at a meditation session or fail at a meditation session. You can't succeed at mindful eating or fail at mindful eating. You just practice.
Okay, we cannot succeed or we cannot fail. All we can do is practice. That's great. So welcome back. And we want to thank our Prime viewers from around the world for supporting today's mission to enlighten, encourage, and empower parents to have a conversation with their children on how to practice mindfulness regardless of mental health status. And you can support us by joining our Facebook group, Thriving Women TV, and by telling a friend. You can watch our recent episodes on demand at e360tv.com and also on our website, thrivingwomennetwork.com.
And Children's Lives Matter is sponsored by Thriving Women University, an affiliate of the Thriving Women Network. If you want to produce your own franchise show, TWN provides the media network, training, coaching, and mentoring to produce your franchise show. For more information, visit our website at www.thrivingwomennetwork.com. You might want to tune in to our other show, Every Child Can Learn, on Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
And thank you for being here again. I'm Jessica Sheehan.
And I'm Vera Thomas. See you next week.